Hello, you're welcome to this short course organized by Perxels Design School. I'm so excited to be here today. My name is Abiodun Fiwa, UIUX Design, also the CEO of Perxels Design School, one of the thriving UIUX Design Training School in Africa. So you guys are welcome. So happy to have you. And this course is going to be introduction to UI UX design and the practical aspect. So we are going to be designing a landing page today, and I will be starting the process with you. The first thing you need to understand is that Figma is a web tool, and it is also a collaborative tool. Anyone in the world can access Figma on their laptop, right? And you can collaborate with other people like your developers, product managers, UX writers. People can jump on your work when you are not there or even while you are there, compared to Photoshop where you have to like give them maybe your hard drive for them to be able to access your work. This one is online and people can access it anywhere in the world with you. Do you get that? So in today's project, you want to go and download figma.com. If you don't have Figma before, just type figma.com. You're going to see something like this. So let me show you an example. So I just type figma.com and then I'll see a page like this, right? And I'll come over to get started for free. I'll click on it and then I can click on continue with Google, and then it will show me some list of my email that I can pick from, or like that. You just follow the process. It's very simple. It will ask you some questions like, what do you want to use Figma to do? Is Figma for your team or is it for yourself? All those basic questions, just answer them the way you understand it. It doesn't affect the end product of your design. Okay, having said that, let's return back. After you signed up on Figma, you are going to see something like this, the dashboard, like I am seeing right now on my screen. You're going to see a dashboard. So on this dashboard, this left hand side is where you have the information about your recent project, your team, and your draft. In this particular course, we might not be able to explore each of these, but you should understand that this section, right, this entire section is called the dashboard, and this left section is giving you information about your recent project, about your team, and about your draft. If we come over to this place here, this is FigJam. This is where we do all of the UX process in UI UX design. And then here are the recent project that I have worked with my student, right? So you can see all of my recent project. You might not have it if you're just a new user of Figma. You get that. So let's return back to our product. After you've seen your dashboard, the first thing you want to do is to click on your plus design file, and then you can pick the file that you want, right? You click on it and it will open a new page for you. Now, this is my own new page, right? I've started working on it already. So here is my own new page. And I would like to talk to you about all of those things that you're seeing here on Figma. Now, what are the things you're seeing and how are they important to you? Let's start with the labeling. This top section here is called the tool panel, while this section is called the layer panel, while this section here is called the editor, and then this section here is called the property panel. We have the tool panel, the layer panel, the editor, and then the property panel. And here is where you give the topic of your first project. So I can say my work itself. So here is where you give topic to your design. Do you get that? Now, let's go on. This section here, which is the Figma, you see back to file, edit, view, object, text, arrange, vector. All of this information are important, but for somebody that is just starting today to learn UI UX design, there is no need to explore all of this yet. Now, we are going to be starting with this particular tool. So we have the move tool and we have the scale tool. The move tool is used for selecting elements on the editor, while the scale tool is used for adjusting elements in a way that it does not distort. So the move tool is used for selecting elements on the editor, while the scale tool is used for adjusting elements in a way that it does not distort. Now, let me give you an example of what I mean there. If I drag this picture into my Figma right now, and I use my move tool to adjust this without holding down shift, this picture here would distort. Can you see that it can distort? Or if I have, but if I use my scale tool, I can adjust this picture without it distorting. But if I had used the move tool, this particular picture can cut off, it can break. Do you understand? So many things can happen to it. But if it is the scale tool, no matter how big or small I do it, it will not distort. It will still maintain the picture. So that's the difference between the move tool and the um, scale tool. Now, the next thing is the frame. If I click on this frame, you see the phone frame, you see the tablet, you see the desktop, you see presentation, you see watch, paper, social media, Figma community, and archive. If I click on the phone frame, I'll see iPhone 14 and 15 Pro Max, iPhone 14, 15 Pro, I'll see iPhone 13 and 14. I'll see iPhone 8, iPhone 8 Plus, Android small, Android large. I'm going to see all the phones frame available on Figma. If I click on tablet, I'm going to see all of the frames available on tablet, like iPad Pro 11 inches, iPad Pro 12.9 inches. I'm going to see that. If I click on desktop, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro 14, MacBook Pro 16, desktop wireframe and TV, I'm going to see all of those information there. If I click on presentation, all sizes that are available for presentation slides, I'm going to find it there. So also watch, so also A4 paper, papers that are available. We have A4, A5, A6, right? So also the social media, we have the Twitter post, we have the Twitter header, all of the screens available when it comes to social media. This is what Figma have currently. So these are all the frames available. We have Figma community and archive that you are going to learn as we move on in class. Then we have the shapes. We have the rectangle. We have the line. So this is the line. Let me make it bigger. So that's line. And then I have the arrow. So here is the arrow. So that's arrow on Figma. Arrow on Figma. If I come over to this place here, this is polygon. And then instead of circle, we call it ellipse on Figma. And then we have stars. So these are all of the shapes available on Figma. So moving forward, we have the pen tool. At Perxels Design School, we'll teach you the pen tool, but we won't teach you the pencil tool, because seriously, pencil tool is just for freelancing. It's not very useful when it comes to UI UX design. But yeah, I'm using the pencil tool right now. I'm using the pen tool. The pen tool is used for creating curves. That's what the pen tool is used for. And as you can see, I have created curves with the pen tool, but the pencil tool is not really relevant. It's just for creating, freehands drawing, which we don't often use in design. Do you understand? So this is it here. So we don't often use the pencil tool. It's not very important, but that's what it is used for freehand drawing. And then we have the text tool. For example, if I'm about to type something now, I'll just click on it, maybe type. So this is what we use the text to for typing any element of design that we desire. And then we have the resource page, right, where you're going to get all of your component plugins and widgets. You will learn that later on. You cannot learn that right now in class. And then we have the hand tool, which is used for moving your your editor to the left, to the right, to the top, to the bottom. You understand? So it's used for moving your element. And if you're not around and I want to comment on your work, I can just click on this particular comment tool and say, hello, viewer. I think you should improve on this part of your product. You understand? So I think you should improve on this section of your design. And then I'll send it. So if you're not in class or you're not with me, I can actually use this to comment on your work, right? Because Figma is a collaborative tool. I hope you get that. All right, guys. So that being said, it's time for us to review what we are about to design today. So here is what we want to create in this video, how to create this section. And if you have question, right, while I'm doing all of this, you can always call our office number or just visit our website and somebody will attend to you. So it's 08135369680. So you can always call our number, please. It's 96. So it's 08135369680. So please, you can always call Perxels number, right? Anytime. Maybe while you're working on this, you're confused of some of the things that was done there. You can always ask questions, very important. So this is it here. You can always call this number anytime or just visit www.perxels.com. All right, in case you call this number or you've messaged it on WhatsApp, then nobody will respond to you or something. You want to go to perxels.com/enroll, right? Or just perxels.com, right? You can sign up so that somebody can call you. And you can also visit us on social media on IG. That will also, we have pixels there. That will also help. All right, let's put this aside for now. Now let's look at this design that we have here. We have the a landing page here. So this is a landing page. That is, this is a desktop page, right? This design can be accessed on website. No matter how small or big it is, if you look at this design now, you see that all of these layouts, they are spread out. So this is a laptop view design. It is a web screen. Now, moving forward, let's talk about what we are seeing here. This is the logo. This is the navigation. This is the call to action. This is the title text. This is the body text. This is the call to action. And then this is picture representation. Do you understand? So we have the logo, we have navigation, we have call to action, we have title text, we have body text, we have call to action, and then we have picture representation. Now that I know that this is a web screen, I'll come to my frame and then I'll click on desktop. So we do that again. So I come to my frame here, then I come to my desktop here. You can see 1440 by 1024. There is a desktop here, but this is like the parent name, but this is the actual desktop. So I click on the desktop frame. Now that we have this, I will create a layout. I want to set up my frame so that my design is as neat as what I am seeing here. So what do? I click on this desktop. I'll come over to the property panel. I'll click on layout grid. I'll click on layout grid. Then I come to these 9 boxes here. I'll change the grid. I'll change it to columns. Now I can see the grid, they are bigger. My eyes can see, but they are not too big. So I'll change my count to 12, and then I'll change my margin to 100. So this is how to set up your frame. So let me repeat that. This is a fresh frame. It's about time for us to work. I'll click on this desktop here. I'll come over to this place, the layout grid. You can see tiny boxes. I can't work with this, it's too tiny. So I'll come over to these 9 boxes here. I'll change grid, I'll change it to columns. I'll change my count to 12, and then I'll change my margin to 100. Can you see that? So that is how we set up the frame. Now it's time for us to design everything that I have here. The font I'm using in this project is called the Man Rope, and you can access it at your hand as well. So I'll come over to this place here, and then I will type brainwave.io. The size I'll be using is 28. So I'm okay with 28. Then for my navigation, I need us to write it down that navigation size are usually between 16 to 24. Navigation size are usually between 16 to 24. Navigation size are usually between 16 to 24. So there's no how you size 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 that you're not going to get a size that will fit, right? Now, I've written demos. Some people will not come like this, and they do not do dash, 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 dash. They write and that you don't do like that in UIUX 10. You have to approach these as individual elements. Control D. So I'll bring this page. I'll bring it here, pages. So Control D means to duplicate. So Control D means to duplicate. That's what it means. So we have support, then Control D. We have contact. So now, if you look at this design now, let's measure 45, 45, 50. So the spacing between them is not correct. Let's even push this one down a bit. After typing this, I want to measure. How do I measure? You click on the first one, you hover HOVE. You hover on the second one and you press Alt. You click on the first one, you hover on the second one and press Alt. You click on the first one, you hover on the second one and press Alt. So when I say hover on something, it means place your mouse without clicking it. So I clicked on the first one. That's why you're seeing this letter box around this particular word. If I hover on this, right, you can see that I just placed my mouse, right? I'm not pressing it. I just place it on it. That means over on it. Then you press Alt. This is 45. So I click on this. I hover on this. I press Alt. This is 59. I click on this. I hover on this. This is 50. Can you see that? So let's assume I want the spacing to be 45. That means every other place is supposed to be 45 as well. So how do I know? From here to here is 59. So I have to move about 14 times, right, to get to 45. So I'll click on my support and use the arrow on my keyboard. So everybody have arrow on their keyboard. If you don't have arrow on your keyboard, go and borrow somebody else's laptop. So this is the arrow on your keyboard, right? Everybody have it in different style, right? So these are the arrows on your keyboard. So you can use the arrow on your keyboard to move things around. So from here to here is 45, from here to here is 59. So I'll click on my support and use my arrow to push it towards the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So let's push. This is now 45. So I click on this, I hover on this, this is 65. I'll click on this and then I'll push it until I get to the point that I want. So from here to here is 44. I push it back. This is 45. So to measure, you click on the first element, you hover on the second element and press Alt. Click on the first element, over on the second element and press Alt. Click on the first element, over on the second element and press Alt. Right? The more you push around, the better. You can push with your arrow, right, until you get what you want. Now, the next part that we need to go for is the call to action. I'll click on this rectangle here, and then I will draw my call to action. And then I will change the I will change this curved here. At first, it was a 0, right? Can you see? At first, it was 0. When you draw a rectangle for the first time, the edges are usually straight. But if I want to give curve to the edges, I'll click on this. I'll come to my property channel. I'll see this section called the corner radius. So instead of 0, I'll change it to, let's say, 2. So I just change it to 2. You can see that small curve. If I change it to 10, the curve will become bigger. If I change it to 100, it will be very, very big. So this is the measure of curve that you want. Any number that fits what you're looking for, then that's fine. In this situation, in this project I'm working on, the rectangle is slightly curved, so I'm going with the 10 curve corner radius for it. So now that I'm done, the next thing for me to do is to type out all of this, the title text. So write it down that your title text is usually between size 45 to 65. I type shift your business fast with shape curve. Then we have this. So I'll try 45. 45 is looking small. I'll try 60. 60 is looking more like it. And then I push my call to action towards the side. Now, for my body text, I want you to write it down that navigation and body text, they share the same property. That means they share the same size, the same color, and the same weight. So they share the same property. And the reason is because of consistency. So I'll click on this and do Control D. Then I bring this here because I know they share the same property. I just click on this, Control D to duplicate, and then type everything that I have here. So I already have some of my design elements open here, so I don't have to type everything because of the time of working. You guys can always reverse this video to listen to what I have said over and over again. So in this case, I already have this. So I have that text there. Then I come to my call to action again. I'll just duplicate what I have here. I want to increase the size of my rectangle a bit. So Control D, I bring this here. So if you feel that your spacing is too much, you can adjust it, right? And then I have the circle that represents the call to action. And that's how we created that part. So moving forward, I'll click on my rectangle and then I will drag this down. Now, in UI/UX design, when you're designing for web, you can only increase the height of the frame, but you cannot come to the width now and start adjusting it like this. This is not going to work. So the only thing you can do is to increase the height, but not the width. So I want you to observe this section here. As I'm increasing, you can see that my height is the only one that is changing. So no matter how long this frame is, the width will remain the same thing. Do you understand that? So the height is the only one you can edit, while the width should remain constant. Now we move on to this section of the design where we provide. So I already have the copy here, so I'll just duplicate this copy for this project. And then I start to type it out, right? So I'll reduce the size to 40, and then I will adjust this, right? Now, if you look at this design that I have here, you can see that this is centered aligned, but what I have here is actually left aligned. So this is the 3 alignments for text that we have on Figma. We have the left alignment, we have the center alignment, and we have the right alignment. So if I change it to center, it will become centered aligned. If I click on right, it becomes right alignment. So I click on centered because I want it to be centered aligned, right? So I have that. Now, before we move further, I quickly want to talk about the weight of your font, the weight, WEIGHT, the weight of your font. If you look at this font right now, this is bold. But if you look at what I have here, it is not bold, it is slim. So for me to change the weight of my font, I will click on this part. This is bold, right? It's always so. This is everything about text. You'll find it within this line and this line. So this is the name of the font. This is the weight of the font. This is the size of the font. So for the weight of the font, instead of bold, I will change this to regular. If I change this to extra light, it will be very slim. If I change it to extra bold, it's very bold. But I want it to be regular. My body text as well, I'm going to change it to regular. Do you understand? And based on what I also have here, this is also regular. Now, let's quickly look at the measurement, 47, 47, 49. Can you see the last part is always going to change? So I'll click on it and push it 2 times 1, 2, so that it is also 47. Do you get it? Now let's go back to what we are creating. I will draw my first rectangle. Right. So after drawing the, I will now do Control D. I'll bring the second one. I'm observing the spacing, then another Control D. Now, if you look closely, guys, you see that the spacing that we have here is equal. Not too equal though, right? But I want it to be equal actually, so that it's not too complicated for somebody who is just learning design, right? So just give me a moment. Let's place this like this. So I want it to be equal, so centered. Yeah, so the spacing we have here is equal to the spacing we have here. But right now, the spacing we have here is not even equal to, because this rectangle is even covering the space. So what do? I'll select everything, right? Just give me a minute, guys. So I'll select everything and then I will adjust this. I'll adjust it until I have, what I'm looking for in terms of the spacing between my design. This is 198. This one is 159. How do I know? I selected everything. How do you select everything in design? You hold down shift, you click on the first, the second, the third. You have to hold down your shift while you do the selection. So how do I select everything together? I hold down shift, click on the first, on the second, on the third. Do you understand? Then I want to push from here to here is 179, 179. So that's a fair deal. So remember, I first of all draw my rectangle. Can we do that again? I draw the first rectangle, Control D. I ensure that I have close to the spacing that I'm seeing here, then Control D. But right now, my rectangle is extending. So what do? I hold down shift, I click on the first, on the second, and on the third. Then I adjusted this, right? I adjusted it until I find a balance. So from here to here is 195 by 195, and I'm cool with it. If I'm not cool with it, I can still extend it just a little. So right now 164, 164. So this is good for me to now start. So I will use a rectangle to represent this. So I'll focus on one very well. Then I type graphic design. Graphic. I'm going to use 24. I use 28. So I'm good with 28. It feels better. Then all of this body text here, I'm going to write it out. Okay. Okay, this is it. Let's see. So I'll bring this here, change the size to 18. So it's smaller, and then Control V. So I'll then push. And just like what we are seeing here, you can see that this is centered aligned. I'll come here and I'll change it to center aligned. I'll change this to center aligned. Can you see that? I'll change it to center aligned. So I feel that that part is good already. So then we have learn more at the bottom. So I change this, get started. I have this, and then I will now type the learn more at the bottom. Then more. So I'll bring this to the middle of my design. So we'll not have the icon right now. So we're trying to avoid information overload. You get, so I have learned more. So now that I'm done with this one perfectly, I'll now measure from here to here is 32. From here to here is 32. I will now delete this. I'll bring this Control D. I'll bring it here. From here to here is 32. Then Control D. From here to here is 32. So what I did initially, if you remember, is that I first of all created all of the rectangles, then I focused on one very well. Then I checked the spacing, deleted all of the empty rectangle and duplicated this. That's what I've done so far. So I come to this and then I type web development. So I place this web development in the middle of my design. I come to content writing. Place it there. Right. So I don't have to be drawing the rectangle from the beginning again. So this is what I have there. So it's time for me to work on the next section. I click on my text and then I type the next section. I think I have a copy already. So I copy this and then bring it here. So I want to make it a little bit bigger, 36, and then adjust it until I'm good, right? So I have this here. I'm doing my positioning very well. There's a principle that guide, spacing and all of this. It's under what we call design system. All right. If you enroll for the paid class, you will learn all of that. This is just a little out of plenty things that you can learn. To really learn UI UX design, you can spend about 3 months till you get to learn it. So we offered a paid training where we teach you everything you need to know about UI UX design to get a job, where you build a standard project portfolio. You undergo all of the system of building product. So if you're interested, you can always visit perxels.com to do that. So now we have this. If you observe, team member, you see that this is having corner radius, and corner radius. So I'll click on the three of them. How do I click on the three of them? Pull down shift, select the first, the second, and the third. And then come to your corner radius and change it to 10. If you're not okay, change it to maybe 15 until you're cool with what you're seeing there. Then all of these text are here. I'm going to, have it typed out here. So bring all of this here. Come here, click on my text, Control V, and then I adjust this. So that's how I created that part. Then I have my rectangle. I drew my rectangle. And then I type out what I have here. Ready. So we have ready to launch. To launch your next project. Right. So I change this to 28 just to make it bigger, and it's to 30. Be good with that. Right. Then I will not type the other part with lots of building blocks again. So these are just demo text. Do you understand? So don't overthink it. Control V. So bring this here, approach it a little, and then bring this like this. Then I have the call to action. Bring it here. So I have my call to action here. And then that's how we created that. And at the bottom, we have copyright RW. So you click on that. Then I just write copy out the copyright. So let's call it demo landing page. Demo landing page. Then I click on centered. So that's what I have there. And once I'm done, I click on my rectangle and just adjust this bottom section a little bit. So ladies and gentlemen, that's how I created. So a part where maybe I did not repeat twice, you can always reverse, right? But in real life, when I'm teaching my student, I usually repeat 3 times, right? So that, they can get it very well. But because this is a video, you can always reverse to listen to it again. All right, having said that, it's time for us to add colors to our design. Now, in this class, I'm going to be giving us only one way of giving color to your design. There are several other ways you can give color to your design. So for the green color that we'll be using in this project, right, our green color sheet is this. So let me bring this here, Control V, and then change this to 100. So this is the color code we are using for our green, and for our blue, right, for the blue that we're having here, this is the color code. So we are going to be working with color code in this project that we have here. So again, this is the color code for that. So I'll click on my rectangle. This is the color code for blue. I'll come to my fill and I'll see D9, D9, D9. I will change it to the color code for the blue. I'll change it to 473B F0. I can see that it has changed. Then I'll come over to this place again and then I'll type 473B F0. And you see that for this first rectangle, the green is 68D585. For the blue color, I have it as 473B F0. For the red color, I have it as F6 4B 4B. Can you see that? So what part again? This black, I'll use a 00000. And then for this, I'm going to use our blue color, which is F7 3B F0. And then I have that there. And for my color white, we are using FFFFFF 6Fs, right? And then I have that already, right? So I feel good about what I've done so far. I'm okay with it. So it's time for us to get pictures into our Figma. So after you downloaded your picture, you can always go to unsplash.com to get pictures. So let's say that I type African woman. So I'll see different pictures. So let's say I like this woman picture. I click on it, then I download free. Right. After downloading free, this is the name of the picture I downloaded, Carita. So I'll go back to my design. I'll click on the circle, and then I will come to my picture, to my shape, the rectangle shape. I'll click on the drop down, and then I click on place image. So you're going to see recent, download, anywhere your own picture usually go to, just select it. Mine is always on recent. So this is the picture I just downloaded, Carita. I'll click on it. Then I'll come over to this place. I click on open, and then I come here and I select it. So that's how I have the Carita. So let me repeat all of that. So I click on my circle. I come to my shape. I click on place image and video. I come to wherever my picture usually go to. And then I click on Carita, and then I click on open, and then I select this. That's how I have that. So for all of your pictures that you've downloaded, you want to bring them on Figma that way, the way you like it. So I'll come back to, all of the, I've downloaded all the pictures, right, that I'll be using for this design. So I cannot be downloading it one by one. So these are all of the picture. So we have Prince, Akachi picture. I have downloaded all these picture in my design. So I'll just come to my shape, and then I'll come to my recent, and then this is Prince Akachi. I click on open, come over to this place. I want you to enter into that place here. Then you can see right now that my picture is like cutting off the head of the lady. I'll click on this rectangle. I'll come to my fill, and then I will see the fill here. I would see feet, I'll see crop, I'll see towel, I'll click on crop. Then I will drag her down so that the picture is not cutting off. And I can also adjust, the shape of the lady that I'm working with, however way I like it. Do you understand? So, but this is what I find good for her. I'm okay with this iteration. So I'll come over to this place again and come to my shape. I come to my place arrow. I come to my recent, and then I'm going to see Prince Akachi. I click on open, and then I put it here. So all this picture I've downloaded before now. So you also want to go and download your own. Do you understand that? So I have the last picture here. Let me look at the name of the picture. So the name of the picture is Ayodeji Alabi. Okay, so I'll come to my shape. I'll come to my place image, and then I'll click on recent, and then this is Ayodeji Alabi. I clicked on it. I click on open, and then I come over to this, and then I select this. It will enter into it. So that is how I got those pictures. However, for icons as well, it's also simple. You want to download your icon. Let's go to ondraw.com. Ondraw.com. So under ondraw.com, you are going to see different. Okay, so I think maybe I clicked on the wrong URL. Okay, I'm on draw.co. So this is on draw.co. Then I click on browse now, right? And then I just type out, what I am looking for. So what I am looking for is a web design. So web development or graphic design. So I just click on web development, and then I'll see various icons I can use. So I'm deciding to choose this one here. I download as SVG. So that's Android Proud. So I'll come over to my design here. So I want to remove all of this because it's not necessary for me to do it that way that I've done it before. So I'll come to my shape. So what I just downloaded now is on draw. So I want to type on draw. My network is dragging. All right, if your network, my network is dragging right now, so I can just come over to this download section here, right? So I click on this download section, can you see? And then this is the icon. I can just drag it into my Figma. Then I adjust it, then place it in the middle. So I come to, okay, so this one is for web development. And then we have for graphic design. I click on graphic design. So for the graphic design, which one should I go for? So let's say I'm going for this lady. I'll download. That's on draw.com. That's downloaded. So I come here. I'll come over to this section. Everybody that is using Chrome, you have this arrow here. So I click on this arrow, and then I drag this down here. Then I adjusted it. I'll adjust it. So this one is 174. So I just want to adjust it to something close to that. They cannot be of the same size. When you get to class, we'll be teaching you the principle of icon measurement, right? But for now, we just have to do it basically. Then we have content writing. So I type content writing. So content writing. So this is it here. I download it as well. I will come to my Figma. So you will always see this arrow here. So you can drag it. And then I adjust it. Bring this here. So we have this here. So I'll change all of the text. I'll change them to white color. The color code for white is FFF, FFF, FFF. So I change it to white color. And guys, that's how we do that. All of this, I'll change it to bold as well. So guys, that's how we created this particular design. Once I'm done, I can on and off my design just to feel what I have created. Do you get that? So this is how to work on a simple landing page. If you are interested in learning more about this, Perxels have a different course. You can just go to perxels.com, right? We have online class, we have physical class. When I'm talking about this particular, when I'm teaching this particular class, we have classes in Lagos, Yaba, and on the Highland. And then we have classes in Abuja, we have training center in Ibadan, then we also have international classes as well. So if you look at this now, you can explore our online classes, you can explore our physical classes, just for you to see what are the courses that we have. If you click on the physical classes, you're going to see all of our training centers where they have their different locations. We have in Lekki, Ring Road, Abuja, and also international course. And for our online class as well, we have the basic, we have the advanced, we have basic, we have advanced, and then we have the premium class. So you can always reach out to us or call us on our number. Thank you so much for joining me today. I see you in the next one. I see you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed this particular section. Make sure you go on our Instagram and tell us that, oh, I love this particular course. We really appreciate it. Bye-bye.